Fast drafting my work in progress, day 6. You may be able to tell if you saw my last video that I'm feeling much better today, that the worst, I hope, of the reaction to my recent vaccine is past, even though my arm is pretty sore still. But did not get anything done yesterday on the writing front. JT and I did record a podcast, and I did a very short video on here to keep my streak alive. But on the writing front, nothing. I haven't written anything yet this morning because JT and I did another podcast recording, and I have been recuperating from that because being on for the camera can be a little exhausting. And if I am not feeling 100%, it is even more exhausting than normal. So while I have not been working, I have been, when I'm not moaning and groaning, I've been thinking about why I'm doing this. And I have mentioned that part of the reason is that I want to release the book by October 31st, 2026. Now, there is a lot going on this year. It is the 250th anniversary of the United States. There will be a lot of celebrations regarding that. And Nevada statehood, we celebrate every year, which I've also mentioned and which I will probably go into in more detail in a future video. But those two things coming together really made me want to do this project in particular, especially since it's something I've had in the back of my mind for many years now. I had already started writing it, and I really felt that this was a good time to get it out. So, as I've also said, I have quite a few partially finished manuscripts all over the place that I want to really start wrapping up and getting out there. I don't know if fast drafting is going to lead to the most brilliant work, but I'm going to go through my normal, rigorous editing process, and I'm going to have some beta readers who are very specialized based on the fact that I'm writing young adult and I'm writing something historical. So I have a couple beta readers in mind who are something of experts in both of those areas, and I'm hoping to get some really valuable input from them. So I feel that fast drafting this, getting that feedback, going through the rigorous editing, and then getting a nice cover. I still have something in mind. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it myself or do the normal cover contest design on 99 Designs. We'll see how that works out. But I do feel that this could be a really good book. And I keep coming up with new things that I can add into the book as I go, which won't need to be added until after the editing is done. So I will probably run those past JT once I've added them to the book so that I can at least get one other set of eyes on them. But I really hope to get this manuscript completed and formatted and printed in time to have copies available by late September. The book will be widely released on October 31st, 2026, but I would like to do a couple of events in October leading up to the release. I've already made contact with the Sierra Arts Foundation, and I'm working on setting up a date for that to do just a book release for this particular book. And then if our area does Mark Twain Days again, I would like to have books available for that as well, because Battleborn Bride will have Mark Twain in a prominent position. He's not one of the main characters, but his actions at the time, his real historic actions at the time, will affect my main character. So it is an exciting idea. It is an exciting challenge for me. And I'm really looking forward to getting this out there. And hopefully people will find it a worthwhile read. And I'm hoping I make it both enjoyable and educational. So that's really why I am fast drafting this book. Also, I hope that in fast drafting, I can learn to stop second guessing everything as I'm writing my first draft, and then maybe progress through my future manuscripts more quickly before going back and doing the edits and revisions. I don't foresee myself doing something with this short a turnaround anytime in the future, unless something comes up. And it would have to be external. At this point, I think I'm internally pushing myself to get this done because I feel like there's a synergistic moment when this book could really make a splash, hopefully. Um, I think that about every book I release, and I think most authors feel the same way. But I think with everything going on at this particular time, it could be it could be the perfect time for this. So if you are following along, I hope you will continue to follow along because I want to talk through not only the fast drafting process, but also the promotion process with this book in specific, because I feel like I said, I do have some events in mind. There are some larger events happening, both locally and nationally that could figure into this book finding a wider audience than my normal books do. So I'm really encouraged. And obviously, I am riding the high of feeling so much better than I did yesterday. Not 100%, but definitely almost back on my feet. And that, I find that when I've been sick, I always feel my best right afterward because I remember what it feels like to feel good. I think we get into a rut kind of, which it's awesome if we don't get sick very often, but sometimes having that little reminder of how good we can feel on a normal basis is not a bad thing. So I can foresee, now that we've gotten our podcast out of the way for the morning, I have a couple of commitments next week. I will be participating in the Crone Authors Together monthly meeting. It's a group that has been created to help older women authors promote themselves collaboratively. So I'm really looking forward to participating more with that group. And then I have lunch with one of the people that I hope will be my beta reader. And I'm hoping that I have a draft pretty close to being done so that I can ask her whether she would be willing to do this reading for me and if she has the time to do it in a somewhat quick fashion, because I don't think the beta read needs to be done before the editing happens, but it would be nice because my first round of editing is actually a creative edit where it gives more overall, gosh, I'm losing words again. An overall look at what might be lacking in the story that if the beta reads that I'm asking others to do, aside from this creative edit, can be rolled in once the book is getting ready to go back for the second round of edits, which is the line editing, which is the more specific grammar and sentence structure and things like that. So I am hopeful that I'm on track for an October 31st release. And like I said, I would love to have books in hand by early October so that I can have some available for early pre-sale at events leading up to Nevada Day, and then have my big splashy Nevada Day release on October 31st, 2026. And I really feel that this could be good. I'm excited, and I don't know, maybe I will be disappointed again. I might be discouraged again because that happens. But even so, while I am riding this high, I'm going to continue to enjoy it. I'm going to continue using my enthusiasm to draft the best book I possibly can in the amount of time I have. And, I will be getting, like I said, a lot of outside assistance in beta reading and editing. So it's not just me. It's a team, and it will be fun. I'm interested to see how this turns out. I don't know if it will fulfill my expectations or not. So if you have not been following along and this is the first time you've seen one of my videos, I hope you will, whether you are a reader or an author. I'm sure this could be an interesting process for you. I have two playlists going right now. My Life of a Writer 2026 is my daily videos that I'm posting throughout the course of the year. And then I started a second playlist for fast drafting my work in progress. And I've made that a generic tag, a generic playlist, because I do plan to try another fast drafting situation after I'm done with this one. If you have not come across any of these videos yet, just to get you up to speed, I have a book in edits right now. It's my Restless Spirits book 2. The first book, Passion Restored, was released last summer. So book 2 is with the editors right now. I hope to release that on Memorial Day, or it may not be until early June, but it should be sometime around there. I have Restless Spirits book 3 that is written but needs a little bit of revision before that goes to editors. I have slotted myself an editing service for mid-May, and those are my 3 books that I plan to work on this year. I also, once I get those 3 off to final revisions and everything, I will be sitting down with my typewriter again. So if you did see my typewriter video earlier this year, I will be going back to my typewriter. I still plan to do that. That will be my Spooktober project, where I may create a small book of poetry on my typewriter. And I've previously done Spooktober with Edgar Allan Poe, where I talked about poetry and short stories written by Edgar Allan Poe. And my plan this year is to study up a little bit more on how Poe wrote and attempt to do something along those lines myself, which I will focus on throughout the month of October. So October could be a really big month this year. And my other 2 books, like I said, Restless Spirits book 2, I'm looking at late May, early June. I'm hoping for Memorial Day. And then Restless Spirits book 3 maybe coming out around Christmas time. We'll see. That's my hope anyway. Plus, JT has a book that he will probably be releasing in the summer that he just scheduled edits for. So we're looking at least 4 more books this year, plus my little book of poetry, so maybe 5 books. And it's going to be another busy year. It's going to be a fun year. We have had to step back a little bit on some of our plans because of things that are happening on a wider level in the world around us. We are not going to be doing the big trip that we had planned for next month. Unfortunately, I'm a bit disappointed about that, but we do plan to do maybe some local trips if possible. And really, one of the main reasons we've decided not to do the big trip is the cost of gas prices. Honestly, it's just gotten ridiculously expensive to do a road trip of that magnitude in a time where in some places gas is more than $5 a gallon. So, and I'm just putting this out there, so if someone comes across this in the future, you can see what we were dealing with at the time and how it was changing people's plans. Also, if people are thinking of traveling by air this year, there are going to be a lot of challenges related to that as well. I don't get into politics on here too much, but we are currently in a government shutdown. TSA is not being paid. They're talking about closing some airports. So just like I said, for future reference, to be aware of what's happening in the world around us. It's a good time to be focusing on my writing, really, and reading the books that I've been coming across. I've picked up, I think I have 5 new books added to my TBR from recent events with our local author friends that I need to sit down and work on getting through. But I won't be doing that while I'm fast drafting because I just need to spend the next week or so really focusing on that. And then we'll see how the rest of the year goes. If nothing else, I will have a lot of fun reading material for the summer months when we won't be probably doing much of anything. We may take some short trips, but otherwise I don't think there will be any real big vacation in store for us this year. And I'm sure a lot of other people are feeling the same way. So I will say, if you can't get away, definitely pick up a book, whether it's one that was written by either JT or I, or like I've mentioned in previous videos, maybe go to your local authors, check them out, definitely support them, because the recent book release that we went to for our local author friend, the turnout was disappointing, and it happens to a lot of people, even if they're fairly well known in the community, because I know a lot of people have a lot of other things going on. But I definitely think if you happen to stumble across something, please interact with people. And that's a plea I've made before. So I won't go too much further into that. But so for fast drafting day 6, I do plan to get work done today. I'm currently sitting at a little over 10,000 words. I'm hoping to really start picking up steam over the coming week now that hopefully the worst of this vaccine situation is over, and all of my other commitments are pretty much out of the way for now. So I thank you for joining me today. I'm Cassidy Carson, and this is The Life of a Writer. Take care.